Okay, I am ready. Are you looking my screen?
No, please share that.
Okay, let me check. Ready?
Hello, Balaji. Can you mute yourself, please?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, okay, I am ready.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, I will continue with the class of the yesterday to finish the communication
Okay.
component.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yesterday I saw the communication between with the component. First I saw the communication from parent to child. Next I saw the communication from child to parent using the output, and I finished with this communication between component 1 to component 2 in that is in different container. um, I using the service. At this moment we continue with the communication using an observable. In this point we can implement an observable to, for example, if I have a variable in a service, this variable can be observed by one or more components to watching or for wiring a change for this variable. The principal advantage of this is that when the variable change is the class to advise to the component that are subscribed to that variable. This means when the variable change, the service advice to the component that was changed, and this form the component is watching for this variable, subscribe to this variable, and it will enter it when the variable was changed. For do that, I will explain this with an API. I will to connect to an API to consult an information, and I will do an service to connect to my API, and then in the child component I will subscribe to a function to consult to the API. Okay, let me show first the API. Here I am in Visual Studio. I am using C#. This is an API that is working. I don't enter in detail in this API, but I will show you only a controller that can we use to the example. Here I have a folder controller. In this folder I have another folder called test, and this folder I have a controller called query controller. Okay, this controller is running in this route. For example, if I start my API, the complete routes to execute this method, it will do, for example, copy this URL, for example, here. Next, I will write the route for my controller, for example, API slash ESP slash and the name of the controller. In this case, the name of the controller is query controller, but you only use the first name, query, omitting the controller name. Here, query slash, and next you need to put the name of the method that you want to execute. For example, in this case, I have a method called query list, and it's all. Here is the complete route to execute this method from Angular. Okay, well, this I will explain a little of this controller. This controller have this method called query list. This method will return an API result data. This is a class that I made. This is the implementation of the class. For example, here a class called API result. This has two properties, status and message. Status is for indicating to the client if the query was correct or not. This will be true for correct answer and will be false to not correct answer. And this field is to indicate a message from the API to the client. And here I have another class called API result data. This class implements the first class API result inherit from API result. So this class has two status and message field and have the data fields. As you can see, this is a dynamic class because through the T will be receive the type of the field data. Okay, and this is only the constructor for that class to pass the value for the status, message, and data. Okay, so now our query list function will return this object to the client. The client will receive an object with its structure. Will receive a status, message, and data in a JSON format. Then the dynamic type of this is a dynamic type. In this field, I will return a data query. Data query, if you see, is an object that will return a data dynamic of dynamic type. This is because you can consult a query in a table of database, and the table will have different fields. You can use this controller to consult any table of your database. How we say to the controller what table I want to consult. This I tell to the function through the object param. An object param, I have an object of type param query. If you see this class, I say to my controller that I want to consult the table name, an array of fields of that table, and also I can send some filter to this table. Okay, this is in the class where in the word class for the SQL. Okay, and you can see these fields is of the type filter. I have a class here for the filter, and I specify the filter name. For example, I can construct and, and filter like, for example, ID, field name, field value, for example, one, operator, for example, equals, and condition, for example, and, or maybe, or. Okay, and with this information the API construct a query for the database. Okay, this is the purpose of this class. Okay, let me delete all of this and read it. Okay, the query with this information in the param, this this method will construct a query. Okay, let me a moment, please. Okay, I don't enter in detail of this because it's a very complex code, but if you want, in future classes we can explain how I do this. Okay, for now only I will execute my API and go to the example of yesterday. Okay, the API is running here. I will reserve this window. You are following me to here?
Yeah, continue.
Okay. Okay, here I will implement first these classes. The class for the result of API, and a class for data query, and a result of the, and a class for param query to send the param of the query. Okay, then the first step I will add a folder. Excuse me, the folder is on here. I will call, for example, models, and in this folder I will create some classes or model. To do that, I will open the terminal, and here I will write the follow command: ng generate class, and I will call, for example, MDL for model, param query. I will create another model called MDL data query. Okay, and finally I will create another model called, for example, model, and let me check here, API result.